So I've been thinking, we know about strong anime characters. We know about anime characters' strongest techniques in all of cross anime. But one thing I don't see people talking about at all is what are the strongest weapons? And I feel like this is something that gets looked over so often because of the characters that are attached to these weapons. They kind of overshine what the weapon does. And sometimes the weapon is only good because of the character that uses that weapon. But hey, in this video, we're gonna give back relevance to those weapons and talk about what is the top 5 strongest ones. Let me clarify something that can be on this list and something that can't be on this list. The only weapons I'm gonna be talking about is ones that you can actually physically hold and use in the middle of battle. We're not going to be talking about the Death Note. I do not consider the Death Note to be a weapon. If anything, you could consider that in the top 5 strongest books in anime. We're not going to be considering mechs. We're not going to be considering anything that can be used as armor, because that is armor. Even though it's technically a weapon or a weapon that can turn it into armor. Yeah, we're not going to be talking about those ones. And like I said before, I consider those more to be not a weapon. They should be something else, or they should be in another category of what they actually are. So now that we got the clarification out the way, let's see what actually makes the weapon itself strong in my mind, in my explanation of why I chose the weapons I did for this list. Okay, let me give an example. Just because Guts can use a sword that is heavy as hell and can be used to cut down demons and apostles, whatever the hell is in this series, it can cut down because Guts is using that sword that way. But if I were to use that sword, I wouldn't be able to pick it up to use it to begin with. And even if I did, I wouldn't have the strength behind it to use it in a way that Guts uses it. So does that make the weapon itself strong? The weapon itself could be very sturdy, but it doesn't necessarily make the weapon itself strong because of I'm using it and he uses it and we get two different results. It's him that makes the result versus what the weapon itself is doing. So we got that understood, right? Not everyone can pick up that weapon and use it the same way. The weapon itself isn't strong. The person itself is what makes the weapon strong. Okay, we get it. So to start off this list, at my number 5 spot, where are we going? We got the power pole. Yes, from Dragon Ball. And you may be thinking, what, the power pole in the 5th spot? What is above this? There are way stronger weapons in anime than the power pole, my brother. Trust me, I understand it's from Dragon Ball. But what does the power pole really do? Extend. That's it. Okay, cool, I guess, yeah. We gonna see what these other ones can do. And genuinely, if you was a regular person and you just had the power pole, my brother, you wouldn't be that amazing. You would be like, you would have this cool pole that can extend however long you want it to be. But that wouldn't mean nothing. I mean, you can have an insane reach. You could probably beat up regular people with it. But if someone with powers came down and did anything to you, brother, you cooked. Hell, even a regular person could probably take that thing from you if you didn't know how to use it well. The reason why this is even on the list is because of the reach you can have with it. Brother, why did I even include the power pole on this list if I talk about it that way? Let me explain. If you learn to use this power pole well, brother, you don't have to be Goku. Look. I'm gonna tell you this right here. That is an infinitely extending pole, which durability, we never see that man break the pole. We never see that pole break on anything. So it has a high level of durability and it extends infinitely. Think about that. You can snipe someone with the power pole just by holding it like this and extending it really fast and retracting it at the same time. You can do a lot with that power pole. That is probably one of the most strongest weapons in anime at this moment. But hold on. Enough glazing the power pole, my brother. I got something even better than that. And we're gonna give this number 4 spot to the soul-splitting katana from Jujutsu Kaisen. Brother, yes, I just said the power pole has a maybe infinite durability. Maybe it just never breaks ever. And if it probably breaks at one point, you could probably extend it past that point and make it back normal again. Guess what happens with the soul-splitting katana? It goes through all durability. It doesn't matter. It doesn't look at that. It will still cut through any and everything like a butter knife. And not only does it pass through all durability of pretty much anything, my brother, you're not thinking about this little. It cuts you at your soul. So the fact that it cuts you at your soul means that you most likely will not be able to regenerate. And if you are able to regenerate that part, it will be a very slow process as shown with Sukuna. But I guarantee you, the only reason why Sukuna was able to regenerate some of his soul at least or at a slow pace is because he understands the soul itself. Not too many people at all understand their own soul, especially even powerful beings that you could probably get a sneak up attack on and cut them in half or cut their head off or cut them in two. They can't heal back from it. But this is the thing that makes the soul split katana so powerful, brother. The person you're probably fighting against doesn't know what this can do, and especially it doesn't know that it can cut them at their very soul. And even if they get that bit of information, they're probably still thinking, oh, I'm just gonna block the attack. Brother, you're getting cut in half. The reason you're gonna figure it out is because you're going to be dead. But the only thing that doesn't make it overpowered is the fact that it can't go through barriers. So if they have a barrier, if they have any magical bullshit tech thing around them, or like anything of that nature, you're kind of cooked on that front. Now for the third pick, we're gonna go over to Masume. I think that's what that sword is called. I forget, but it's been a minute. So it's the sword from Akame got killed that Akame uses specifically. Yeah, the sword that if you get any little nick or slice on you, you die instantly. And okay. Let's listen to this, bruh. I understand. Look where I put it. I put it at number 3. What is that number 4? Soul Split Katana. Why is this over that? The reason why the one-hit killer sword, Masume, or however you say it, is over the Soul Split Katana is because, bro, you genuinely don't need to do much at all. If you're fighting an opponent and you get a little nick in, bro, you touch the sword on him and it manages to cut him, he is dead. It can be the littlest, tiniest paper cut ever to exist in history. He is dead. There's nothing they can do. So if they have nothing, like if they have no defense against it, like magical barriers or something like that to protect themselves, they're instantly dead. And think about this, brother. With the Soul Split Katana, it is not necessarily a one-hit killer. Want to know why? It's because if you go for a slice and you manage chopping off his arm because he moved out the way or something, or whatever that reason, that person is not dead. Yes, you cut his soul and you cut his body, but brother, he is not dead. Imagine in that same scenario, maybe your target dodges a little bit and you manage to cut him maybe at the tip of his finger. The dude is dying instantly. It's a one-hit killing sword, enough to where if you even clean your blade wrong and you cut yourself, you will die too. But what can be better than a sword that if it pokes you one time or draws a little bit of blood from your just manages to slightly nick you, you die? What is better than that? Now here's where we get into the more magical, mystical side of things. This is where these things tend to take over. Okay, let me explain to you something. I know a lot of people don't know of this show, but back in the day I used to watch this show and I said, wow, this is really great, and I had it forever in my memory. It's called the Outlaw Star. And what does the Outlaw Star have? One of the strongest weapons probably in anime. It's called the caster gun. Now hold on, what is a caster gun? Bruh, it's a pistol made from magical ancient spells and magics and then technology, and you fuse those two things together. I know I'm stuttering a lot here. I'm really trying to rack my brain and remember everything, but it's basically ancient magic and technology coexisting into one little gun that damn near has no recoil on it. I've never seen this man recoil when using this gun. But tell me what this gun can do. What can this gun do? Yes, it's a gun, a regular gun. You load in a specialized bullet that is meant for this gun, and guess what you can do? You can shoot a black hole out of it. Now hold on. That's not all this gun can do. Each different bullet does something different with a caster gun, but bro, shooting a black hole out of a gun with no recoil is some insane shit. Bro, there is a scene where this man, Gene, the main character of the show, is using the caster gun. He goes through one bullet, boom, all right, but shoot the bitch. It's one of the weaker ones. All right, didn't do nothing. All right, bet. Let me use my black hole. He whips it in the gun. The first caster gun bullet did nothing. Okay, cool. But let me explain to you those later. He puts in the bullet, loads it. It said, man, I know this gonna knock you off the map. Aims it, pew, shoots it, a black hole comes out, sucks her in and kills her. Insanity. You can use that on anybody and kill them. You can use that on dead anybody and kill them. But again, like I was saying, I'm gonna go back to this point with the main bullets, those weaker bullets, the same bullets that are kind of just regular for that gun. Those regular bullets for the caster gun do some serious damage. It's like shooting a rocket launcher like off your back, but it's just a regular pistol, and it goes through barriers. It goes through anything, depending on the caliber of the bullet or whatever the hell. It just depends on how strong the bullet is. It goes through magical domes and barriers. It goes through anything and just kills you instantly in one hit. So it's very versatile because it has multiple different bullets and shells that do different things, okay? That's why it's one of the strongest or second strongest weapons in anime. And bro, let me remind you, the main character of this show is just a regular human. There is no recoil, there's no draw, there's nothing of that nature holding this man back from using this gun, other than some casting bullets does take a part of his lifespan off of when he does use it. But that ain't nothing. If I'm going against Goku, bro, I'm shooting that black hole at him, he dead. So I know I just said something crazy, okay? What is at number 1 now that I explained that at number 2 spot, we have a gun that can shoot black holes and shoot bullets that can go through magical barriers and one tap the enemy. Okay, what's at number 1? The number 1 most strongest weapon in anime is a sword of Nanoboko. Okay, look, the one from Naruto. Yeah, that big DNA looking thing. Yeah, that is the strongest weapon in anime. But hold on, I thought at the start you said that anyone can just pick it up and use it. You low-key can get that ability to use the sword of Nanoboko. And I don't know if I'm saying that wrong, correct me if I'm saying it wrong, but I'm not gonna do the look it up to the, you know, just for an explanation to say what it is. I'm gonna put a picture somewhere on the screen so you know what I'm talking about, okay? But let me explain to you this. Anyone can use it. Obito was a regular person. Yes, he was a Uchiha. Remember, okay, cool. That means nothing, my nigga. That means nothing. He was a regular ninja who just grinded his way up, was able to get the 10 tails inside of him from capturing all the tail beasts and doing all the... It just takes a little preparation is all I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. If you did the exact same steps that Obito did, and you had the 10 tails right there in your face, you can take them into your body, and guess what happens? You can have the ability to summon the sword of Nanoboko. Easy as that. And I know I'm making it sound easy, but if someone like Obito, who was nothing at the beginning of his journey, let me explain to you this. He was not a prodigy by any means. He just had a strong eye ability. Cool. Is that what carried him most of the way? He is strong on his own without it. So it kind of carried him a little bit. But to be honest, Obito himself became strong as a person himself. So if you're just determined enough and you're willing to capture a couple tail beasts or hire people to do that for you, brother, you're gonna have this sword of Nonobuka in no time. Maybe it might take 10 years or so, but you know, it may be no time for you. And hey, is this kind of cheating to put this at number 1? Maybe, but I'm gonna break my own rules, and this is what I believe to be true. But what can a sword of Nonobuka do? But if you don't have Sage mode, anything, if you have none of that, if you have no Sage entity, nothing, you're not one with nature, whatever the hell it gotta be, that thing is one-shotting you with one hit. It's basically, you know those balls on Naruto back, the balls on Obito's back, the balls on Madara's back, the true seeking orbs, okay? It's what happened when you combine all of them together and form the sword of Nanoboko. Okay, let me tell you what this sword can do. With swings, brother, you create shockwaves, okay? Look. Not only that, this sword is so durable. Again, you only have to use Sage mode to break it. How many people in the world have Sage mode? No one. How many people in other animes and other worlds have Sage mode? No one. Okay, look. You are very well not weak against a lot of things or a lot of people in this universe. You ultimately become a god just by wielding this sword. This sword can cut through any and everything, and not only does it do that, it can change its shape because it's basically made of truth-seeking orbs. So you don't need to just, cut the soul and everything. You don't need to do all of those things. You don't need to create black holes and do things like that. Brother, I can extend this sword as long as I need it to be and one-shot anything that comes in my path. Brother, if I had the sword of Nanabuku and I'm going against a whole army, my nigga, I can just go and slash like this and kill everybody on that field because I can extend that sword of Nanoboko as much as I need to. And the way it slashes, brother, you're killing everything in one hit. And let me not need to mention, brother, this is a sword that was used by Ninja Jesus himself, Hagoromo. Hagoromo, imagine what that sword would be like in that man's hands. And okay, I know I did a bad job explaining what the sword of Nanoboko is, but you get the gist. You get the gist at this point. If I had a sword made by Jesus himself, I would be the most powerful human on earth. Hence is why it's the number 1 on this list. But hey, if you have any disagreements or anything in the comment to say about my list, brother, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Did I cheat at the end a little bit there? Okay, maybe a little bit. But hey, I got through it. So boom, go ahead and leave a like on the video. If you like this type of content, other than that, subscribe because I need to hear